I do think that using the plastic bottles is a good idea, so I'm going to persevere. But one problem I did have last time is they have no weight in them at the beginning, and when I was sort of single-handedly trying to do the racking, what happened was I actually lost control of one of them and tipped it over. So plan B, learning from my previous lessons, instead of doing it in the middle of the kitchen, I'm going to do it in the sink. If it falls, it's easier to catch, and it may even not fall very far at all because the sink is there to protect it. So, learning as we go, shall we say? Everything's been sanitised. So, feed that in there. Okay, plan B worked. I did end up hooking the bottle over the tap. Once it gets some weight, it's fine. That's the sediment, and here's our re-racked cider, hopefully. That has definitely dropped further since our last reading. So the hydrometer reading has dropped to 0.994, which is incredible. So I'm going to do my maths on that in a second. But I did get a bubbler ready, but I wonder whether to just put the cap on. I think we are actually ready for bottling. That's a shock. With the help of my handy calculator, that has come out at 9.2% alcohol, which I was aiming for something a little higher. I was a little disappointed because I didn't quite get enough sugar in at the start, but that seems to have been slightly irrelevant because it went down to a gravity that was below 1. So my end result has actually been probably where I was aiming for, or even actually probably a bit higher. So far so good. So despite all my trials and tribulations, I think we're at a point where we can try a bit shortly, but then it's decision time for, what do we do next? Do we sweeten? Do we carbonate? And the taste test will actually help decide. If this were a wine, a specific gravity that's low would imply a level of dryness. So is this going to be quite dry? Now, I did put in a healthy dose of brewing sugar at the start of the process. So does that mean actually it's going to give us a residual sweetness? I do not know the answers to these questions. So we're going to find out by tasting it. So this is our super simple turbo cider. And there's no sweetness in there at all. It is very dry. But given that the alcohol came out at around sort of 9.2%, it definitely sort of ate up all of those sugars. I just did another hydrometer reading. It's been another day. And a hydrometer reading came out exactly the same at 0.994. So that's good. So I'm going to do I'm going to try to do 3 completely different things. I think I'm going to, first of all, I love cranberries, so I've got some dried cranberries. So step 1, I'm going to take a third and do that and add some cranberries. In one of the recipes I looked at, there was a little apple juice added back in.
and that was to bring out more flavour of apples, because you do lose, you can taste the alcohol but not so much the apple at the moment. So I'm going to sort of add a little bit of apple juice back in to one of them. That, I guess, has the risk of starting fermentation going again, so we'll have a look at the readings on that. And then for the third one, I'm just not sure quite yet what I'm going to do. I think I think ultimately I'm going to bottle and carbonate. I've got some bottles ready to do that. So I think with that third, that sort of third that remains, I've probably got 2 or 3 bottles by that point. I think what I'm going to do is do the carbonate and sweeten option. I've also got some non-fermentable flavouring. And I was saving that actually to do a recipe a bit later on. No, I still think I want to use that for that separate recipe later on. So I think that's it. I'm going to go 3 ways: the cranberries, the apple juice, and the straight carbonation and sweetening. So let me get sorted, and we'll start moving stuff around. So I've been sanitising, and in my day job, measurement system analysis is quite an important factor. I make sure that the scales you're measuring by are accurate. Now, these are 1.5 litre bottles, allegedly, and I've just put 1.4 litres of water in, and it comes up to about here. Which means I've had to go back and do a bit of a recalc in terms of instead of assuming 1.5 litres, I'm now assuming 1.4 litres, which actually is a bit convenient because I only created 4 litres of water in the first place, so that would have meant 4.5. Now, some of that is going to be also taken up with other ingredients. So I'm going to add some more apple juice. In fact, I've sort of calculated it to 1/5, so be about 280 millilitres of apple juice to one of the bottles. Then I've got some cranberries to add to the second bottle. Now, what was interesting about the cranberries is the presence of sunflower oil in dried cranberries. And amazingly, I've sort of been running through the water to try and get some of the oil off, and the amount of oil just on my hands, just trying to sort of rinse them off, was very surprising. I did not know they put sunflower oil in dried fruit. And we obviously want as little as possible in that cider, so that's been me rinsing that off. And then calculation number 3 is going to be just plain sweetener. And again, I sort of recalculated based on where do I want to move the specific gravity from and to. Now, my calculator sort of has a starting gravity and a target gravity, but I'm not exactly sure what my target gravity should be yet. And reading around the subject, there is definitely a range of targets that you can go for. I assumed that actually naturally it might be a bit sweeter given the amount of sugar that was already sort of in the fermentation, but obviously all that sugar has been used up and it is incredibly dry. So again, I've sort of taken a bit of a rule of thumb, and from our 0.994 reading, I want to try and get that up to 1.02. Now, whether that's the right target or not, we will find out in the taste test when we go, oh my god, this is syrup. And the sweetener I'm going to use this time, last time I used a sweetener called xylitol, and apparently xylitol is a sweetener that has some is known to cause stomach problems, probably in larger quantities than we were using. But the alternative to xylitol was one called erythritol. And so this time I'm going to try that one in the brew.